dear friends and aspirants, welcome back to High Point again. We were doing lectures, we were learning about cultural studies. In the previous video, we have seen the social construction of the space, and in this video, we will see the spatial construction of the social. So that's what we are going to learn in this video. Before beginning the video, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to it and also press the bell icon so that you get a notification whenever I do something in here. And also visit my website. The link to the website is there in the description box. There you will see 11 topics. Under the topics you will see modules in which you will find everything and anything that you need to study for NTA UGC NET JRF English Language and Literature paper 2. And if you are interested, join our family as a student and have the entire 900 plus audio lectures, 300 plus PDF materials, downloadable PDF materials, and also 300 plus previous and practice questions, lively participable practice questions. Okay, and WhatsApp me or call me if you have any doubts regarding the study materials or the free bonuses that we are sharing as weekly test and personalized study guideline. To know more, use this number and also use Instagram ID to reach out to me, and also follow me on Instagram. You will find a variety of materials there. If you wanted to have any further information, you can contact me using WhatsApp or Instagram. Moving on about the social construction, the spatial construction of the social. Okay, let's have introduction. If the social determines the nature of the space, the reverse is also true. So in the previous video, we have seen that how the social determines the nature of the space, how the social relationship among the people determines the space, what kind of social activities are happening in a space, and that determines the nature of space, the characteristics and features associated to the space. Then the reverse is also true. That means the spatial construction of the social is also possible. Where you live is often determines the social relationships. Okay, so certain relationships, social relationships and social activities will determine the space, the nature of the space. In the same way, where you live, where you are doing this particular work, that will often determines your social relations. The reverse is also possible. In colonial India, there existed a black town. Okay, the black town was the Indian section distinct from the British one. So black town existed in colonial India. What is that black town? Black town was the Indian section distinct from the British one. So in a place Indians are crowded living together, that place is known as black town. It is distinct and different from British one. So where British people, colonizers were living together, there Indians were not commonly living together. Okay, the distinction between the two was very clear and effectively enforced. So it was not allowed that Indian people buy the land in the British zone and occupy with them. That was not allowed. So if it was effectively enforced, means there were some unwritten and written rules that Indians should follow. And it was very clear, this distinction between the black town and the British area. These two are too clear, very clear. Okay, so that means that shows the spatial construction of the social. So the black town is created and it is identified as the place in which Indian people are living. Okay, so that kind of social relationships that you will have. But where the British people are living, their social relations will be different. Okay, only certain kind of Indians could enter the British section. These have to be authorized to do so, servants, workers, assistants to British officers. So only a few people, Indian people, are allowed to enter into British section. Mainly they were servants, workers, assistants to British officers. Indians would not come to the British section without an invitation. That's how it is enforced effectively. Without an invitation, without a command, Indians could not enter into a British section. Thus, the social relation between Indians and British were determined by the structure of the town. So, this is very important. The space of the town, this constructed town, that determines the relationship between Indians and British. A good example of the spatial construction of the social. So this construction of the black town and the British area, that determines the structure of the town. So this is a good example of the spatial construction of the social. I hope this is clear to you. Now everywhere this distinction exists. Okay, everywhere this distinction has exists. Even though now India is independent, doesn't mean that this is not found. This distinction in the towns and cities are now nowhere found. But you can see that in a city, there is a place, there is an area where rich people, affluent people will live, and there is another area where slum occupied. Okay. So there too, not everybody can go and visit their place. Casually they cannot go, right? Only the servants who are working in these rich people's house, the assistants and officers, workers, will have a daily basis entry. Otherwise they need to have an invitation, a call or an order, or some needs will be there. Otherwise usually and casually they cannot. Okay, you cannot enter into a space without the authorization. So take the example of an institution. In that space, without any authorization, you cannot enter. Different people group choose different place to meet to discuss things. See, the affluent people, the rich people will go for some leisurely hours. They'll go to some clubs. They'll go to pubs. But these poor people, they have to go to a different place to meet and discuss. It's not that they'll use these public spaces, similarly. There will be different people will choose different places to meet, discuss things, and that places become community centers. So that's how those people, that's how those places in which they are meeting together and discussing things, they become community centers where social relations are forged. Forged in the sense, it is not that naturally everyone can come and meet there and spend their time. No. These high class people, where they are going, you are not allowed it. Certain dress codes even consider when you enter there. Okay, people in different areas of the city choose specific sites to socialize, for leisure and to shop. Rich people, they make their shopping in a different way. Women do their shopping in a different side. Men are doing different sides. It's like that. Men are, they can go to certain spaces, but women are not so comfortable going into certain spaces in a city. For leisure too, women prefer some other time, some other space, while men prefer some other space. So it's difficult and it's different and distinct for each person. People in different area of the city choose specific sites to socialize, to make their social relations, for leisure and to shop. Okay. Access to certain groups, clubs and spaces of leisure are governed by rules of belonging and members. So this is what I was telling. See, rich people can go to clubs, certain groups and leisure spaces because they have membership. They have a rule of belonging. They belong to that space. Okay, but a person from slum, a person from not that affluent area, not that affluent family cannot go there because they won't have a membership, they won't have a belongingness there. Once inside, there is a democratization of use and function. You are all members of the space which you can use now. So once you have this authorization, once you have this membership, once you have this belongingness, a democratization will happen, that you can use this space and function in a democratic way. You are all members of this particular space which you can use now. Okay. Now, so that's all about how spatial construction of social is possible. So reverse is also possible. The social construction of space is possible, and the spatial construction of the social is also possible. The area in which you are living, the spaces that you are using in your daily life actually determines your social relationships, your acceptance, your belongingness, and your even things available to you, determined by that. Okay. So that's all about this concept in cultural studies. If you have missed any of the previous videos that we have discussed in cultural studies, you can find that in here in the screen now, and also in the I button the link to the playlist is available. You can see them and study them one by one. Also don't forget to visit my website and use this WhatsApp number to reach out to me, and also follow me on Instagram, as well as use Instagram to chat with me. Okay, meet you in the next video session. Until then, stay tuned to High Point and be happy always. Tada, bye bye.